Good morning, Suzanne here. So here's a twist, but a fairly common situation for the injury phase of what I call the sensitive cycle. So my mind and my body were in overdrive for a prolonged amount of time, and my spirit broke down. So that is burnout. So now my emotional landscape has stabilized and my mojo is starting to return, but my physical health and my stamina are crashing. So this is tricky stuff. And the personal life situation remains complex and unyielding. So self-care is super critical right now. And this looks like saying no. This looks like finding tiny moments of joy and love to keep me buoyed. And I have to keep my nutrition and my supplementation on point. And I gotta work all my tools. So this is complicated and tricky because in this state, you instinctively want to collapse and surrender into being burnt out. And that is actually the conventional wisdom. But as a highly sensitive person, there is a vigilance to maintain, not a hypervigilance, right? There's a big difference there. And I have written about this injury stage on my blog a while ago, like, I don't know, a year or so ago, but I've never chronicled it before. So I'm going to do that, mostly on Instagram stories and a little bit on Facebook too. But I'll tell you, this for public consumption sharing, this piece is hard for me. And it's challenging at this point when I'm still feeling very foggy and like compromised, but I think I'm coherent enough to provide value. And the other thing to know is that my client work continues, which I love. And my Medicine of the Moment subscription service continues, which I also love. My connection to the soul of my work remains strong and supported, which I'm grateful for beyond measure. And the bottom line for me is that I feel fundamentally supported on the deepest and the highest levels. It's these real world layers where that's a bit murky for me, and I'm working through that. Now, please don't get it twisted, right? I get a little salty about this. It is work. This isn't a quick or instant shift. And for the profoundly sensitive, it's full of pitfalls and what feel like pop quizzes. So my pace is tortoise-like, and my spirit is firmly planted in recovery mode, and I endure. So for those of you following along from my doTERRA family, I'm working heavily with my Forgive Renewing Blend right now, and I have been for some time. I also have several personally crafted blends that are really supporting me in this, and I'll share more about that as I go along. But for today, I'm hanging in at moments in strength and in moments just barely. If you are a sensitive person who's struggling, and here's the reals, there's a lot of you out there. It can feel like nobody gets you. Your day-to-day world can feel like a battlefield. And when you're in this injury phase of your cycle, it can feel crushing. But this is a cycle, I believe that, and there is a corner to turn, and I'm going to share my path around that for a bit. For you, for me, for us. Your sensitivity is a superpower, right? That is true. But if we don't help each other through like this darker side of things, then we lose out on what you can bring to our world. And sometimes we lose people altogether. And that's not okay. And while I'm not going to post a video on the daily, right, I am going to try to keep updates coming. So for today, if you're walking in strength, hold somebody up. And if you're needing strength, reach out to a trusted source. That's my caveat for you, a trusted source, and lean on them for a bit. I think I'm going to leave things sit right there. Have a good day, everybody.